Today, we begin anew. Today is a brand new start to what could be a beautiful season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. No, it's not the Browns. We're not starting anew at quarterback. No, they didn't sign anybody, even though that's hot and heavy right now. No, the Cavs start their season tonight at an excitement level that is always going to be different. When we had the years that we had with LeBron James, when we won a title, you go to 4 straight finals, that will never be recreated. And I've long said that, and I accept that. And even if there is a world that the Cavs get a star player and go back to 4 straight finals, it'll always be a little bit different than it was. The Cavs are in a different spot. And I've always felt like it's different, but in ways it's more fun. In different ways, this can be more fun. This run for the Cleveland Cavaliers with this roster they have put together, with the team that they have. There are expectations. Those expectations we all hope to be met. This is not a team that is in the running or should be in the running for top picks anymore. You have star players on this team. You have a young player that you believe can ascend to becoming a top player in the league. You already have a player that some consider a top 15 player in the NBA. The excitement is there. I love it. Basketball in Cleveland, when everything is right, we have a basketball team that we can root for. We love the baseball team. We certainly do love the football team here as well. But there's something about having the Cavs be competitive and being a team that you can be excited for. You have all of those things, and they begin their quest for an NBA championship tonight. I can't wait. It's an exciting time. We'll get to that. We'll get to Browns. We'll get to Halloween. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. A very good morning to you, and certainly a good morning on a Cavs season opening day edition of the show here. We'll talk a lot of Cavs to start. We got a little, survey, so you will, to fill out today for Cavs fans out there as we get ready to go for the season. We'll certainly get to that. Yes, we have updates on Deshaun Watson. This one's from Adam Schefter, just on really how bad that shoulder injury is. There are finally, I'm not saying that there weren't dates being thrown around, but Schefter's report yesterday, I think maybe even paints a little bit of a grimmer picture than we maybe thought. Yes, IR is still swirling around. Yeah, we'll find out more information on Watson a little bit later. Oh, wait, the NFL came out and apparently said there were mistakes in the Colts game. You know who doesn't care about that? Me. So what? They're not going to go back and replay the game. They're not going to give it to the Colts. It's an exercise of futility is really what it is. But we'll get to that. We got a lot of Cavs bets that we're going to place as well. Go to Tipico and get those done. Of course, we know the NBA kicked off last night. The World Series is set. Exactly not how I predicted it to be. So that should tell you all you need to know. So I should make my World Series prediction, Ryan, then you just pick the opposite. Okay?
Exactly what I've been doing.
So that'll tell you that the Arizona Diamondbacks will win it. I'm picking the Rangers, so go ahead and put a lot of money on the Arizona Diamondbacks. On Tipico, use that code BIGPLAY150. So we'll talk about that a little coming up. We do have some other things around the NFL. Michigan is continuing to be a complete dumpster fire, so we got a lot lined up for you today, taking up to 11 o'clock. But we start with the Cavs, and it's exciting to kick the season off. Basketball is a little different than really any other sport when it comes to their opening night because it's, I feel like baseball is something special. For me, for a kid growing up in Cleveland, opening day for the Indians or the Guardians now, that was a signal of the times. That was, hey, summer is about here. Now, first pitch a lot of times over Progressive Field is at 42 degrees and we're having snow flurries throughout the game, but that is what it is. So as a kid who played baseball growing up, if you played baseball or softball, opening day was a special thing. What? Sometimes your parents pulled you out of school. You drive down to the ballpark. There's something special about that. We know football drives this town crazy, so opening day for the Browns is different. But if the Cavs, as a kid and, doing this job and becoming the fan that I am and loving the Cavs, opening night is just a little different because it is like baseball where it's this long haul and we're now entering 4, 5, dare I hope and say 6 and 7 months worth of basketball coming up. But it's also that, basketball, it's just different. You know what I mean? They don't play every night. It is a lot of night games. So that's the cool thing. Like, I love nothing more than baseball and basketball where there are nights I can come home and I know what I'm watching tonight. Like, I am super excited for just being able to say, I know what I'm watching tonight. Last night, little lost. Watched the Jackets, who had a weird situation go on. Watched a little World Series. But tonight, like, I know I'm sitting down. I got the Cavs and the Nets to kick the season off. And it's not one game to solve everything. But this is a team with a lot of intrigue. This is a team that I see the offseason moves. Part of our survey. Who do you think will be the best offseason addition for the Cavs? Do you want to say Tristan Thompson? You can. But they have a new, different squad that am I wrong for saying, Ryan? I feel like they're a lot like last year's team, mostly because your core is here. You didn't have some shakeup. Nobody expected us to have one, of course, but you have your core. And as long as you have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, I will put expectations on this team. We know Jared Allen's not playing tonight. He's going to miss probably a little bit more time, but you know that is your core. And where this core will take you is not the 6 or 7 seed in the East. I think most people have the expectations of a top 4, potential top 3 seed again, getting a home playoff matchup, and then Eastern Conference semis, Eastern Conference finals, dare I say. That's exciting. And the reason that I say it's different and maybe a little more fun, when LeBron was here, it was NBA Finals or bust. There was no question about that. Your expectations were NBA Finals or bust. So the regular season meant nothing because you can mess around and know that you were still going to make it. Now, more often than not, the Cavs were the 1 seed. There was that one year that you dropped down as the 4 as, guys were missing time and all that, and you still found your way to the finals. That's why I say I think it's more fun because as a fan, I can enjoy the regular season a little bit more with this version of the team because it does matter to me. Because this is a team that, do I have finals expectations? Not necessarily, but I expect them to be competitive. So that's why I can get excited about some of the big games that we play. For the Cavs, in the regular season, there was really only one team that you cared about playing, and that was the Warriors, and you only played them twice. Maybe you want to mix in the Celtics from time to time. I feel like the Pacers always were like a thorn in our side for times. Early in LeBron's career was the Wizards. I always seem to play the Wizards hard for some reason. Now, I can look at a lot of teams. I get excited about matchups with Boston. I'll get excited about matchups with Philly. Certainly, I'm going to get excited about playing the Milwaukee Bucks. Then you mix in the West Coast teams. Phoenix starting off with a win last night. Thank you. I said win. I said the Nuggets to cover, which they did, and the Suns to win. So we're off to a good start on our NBA bets. So there are a lot of teams that can fill my bucket. I think that's I was handed this book in my prior stop, and it's a business book, and it was called Fill Your Bucket. And it was all about what you do in your professional life, your personal life to fill your bucket. The Cavs, different than the LeBron years, are going to fill my bucket to a top level because I can be an intrigued, excited fan for 5 to 6 months. This wasn't like the LeBron years where I only had a couple of games that I really cared about during the regular season, and I just waited for April and May to roll around for the playoffs and then trying to get to the finals. So that's why I say it's different. That's why I say that this team might actually be a little more fun to watch. We got a lot of survey questions, Ryan. I'll leave it up to you. If you want to throw a lot of those up as just an open-ended poll, or if you want to ask people, how do you think the season will end? And our over-under on the win total, which is 50.5. I'll leave that up to you. We're at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. Of course, we stream the show every morning there. We're live on the iHeart app. You can download that. Just search Big Play. We're up 9 to 11 every morning. Chico 12 to 2. I know he's got a lot of NBA stuff coming up on his show as well. Booby's World. Get that as always. Big Play on Twitter. You can follow Booby's show as well as we get ready for the Cavs season. So when I sit here and I take stock of who the Cavs are and what the Cavs are, I think it's a very intriguing number on their over-under win total. So as new people are getting in on the betting thing, we'll tell you about the win total. Every team, NBA, baseball, football, before the season, they do an updated win total. And that is Vegas thinking, will this team win this number of games? And you just correctly pick the over or the under. And more often than not, it's even money on either side because that's how they pick that number. You know, if I want to pick over the Cavs 30 wins, that's going to happen. That's going to be a giant minus 2,500 number or something like that. You really can't usually do that on sports books. So they have set the Cavs at an over-under of 50.5, which, if memory serves me, that's up a little bit from last season. There was a year they were in the high 40s. But I feel like, was last year like 54.5? I can't remember.
I want to say last year was.
I should have looked that up.
I think last year it might have been the exact same, to be honest with you.
Maybe that's what's throwing me off. So your question is, I can do that math. Do you think the Cavs are going to go 50-32 or 51-31? And if you think it's the over, you slam the over. And I think it'd be easy for a lot of people to hit that number because, you know, when we look at last season, Ryan, the injury factor is one that I don't think it's talked about enough for what this team had to fight through last year. They, at any turn of the game, they had to deal with some sort of injury. Now, that's not something that is unique to the Cavs. I mean, even last night, LeBron played 29 minutes, and everybody's saying, you know what? That's probably going to be the new mantra for him. He's not going to crack 30 minutes a lot because they're going to, instead of resting him per game or, you know, taking a game off with all these new NBA rules about sitting, the change might be in the actual games sitting him down more. We'll see. But last season, the Cavs finished with a 51-31 record. So that's right exactly where they're at. So it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, slam the over. Slam the over. And I think it's twofold. With those injuries that they faced last year, you assume that some of those will get cleaned up. The other side of it, I think this Cavs team is better. Are they remarkably better? No. This team made some nice additions with Niang and Max Strus. You'd like Ricky Rubio to be there, but certainly wishing him all the best, and hopefully he'll rejoin the team at some point. You add Tristan Thompson. That, to me, is just a locker room guy, you know, tough guy on the court if you need him. But where I think the evolution of the Cavs and why I feel like this is a better team is directly tied to Evan Mobley. And Evan Mobley, a guy in year 2 last year, maybe didn't have the ascension that some people projected him to have. With his body type, with what we saw his rookie year, people started the conversations of, in a couple of years, this might be a guy that is a top 10 player in the NBA. I'd love for him to be top 5. I'd love for him to be in the conversations with your Giannis's and your Lukas and your Joel Embiids of that type, that body type that I think is what you need in the NBA. You know, you need guards. Yes, Steph Curry is great. I know that. In today's NBA, you need guys built like Giannis and Jokic. Even Jokic is a little different than some of those guys. But Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. And, of course, why does Victor Wembanyama have all the hype that he has? It's because of his frame. It's because of the skill set that he brings to the game. And Evan Mobley is even a little different than all of those guys. We know him on the defensive end that can be good. I think this year is going to be a big question on me on some of his offensive game. Is the range there? Is he consistent on hitting those 18 to 16 footers? Can he get in the paint? Did he add the strength? That he talked a lot about this all preseason, right? About adding the good strength, adding the good weight, hiring a personal chef, which is the goal of all of us one day. Must be nice. And he put on the weight that they kind of needed him to. So when I think about where the Cavs are at this season, it really does start with Evan Mobley. Then I go to a Donovan Mitchell, which is clearly the best player on this team. And yeah, there's a world that you go as far as Evan Mobley. I'm sorry, Donovan Mitchell. You know my thing on Donovan Mitchell here, Ryan? There's a lot of money to be made this season, right? And NBA contracts are different with how they're structured, with the All-NBA, the Supermax, all that kind of stuff. I get it. Donovan Mitchell did not sign that extension this offseason. Of course he didn't. We all knew he didn't or wasn't going to. It's because, in a way, he is betting on himself this season. And if he goes out there, as much as individual success is important, he knows that individually, this could be a giant year for him. But if this team goes the places that they are expected to go or even beyond that, I'll tell you right now, if Donovan Mitchell gets this team to an Eastern Conference Finals, there's no way they're going to. I mean, they don't want to let him leave anyway. And there's always this cloud that hangs over the Cavs about if Donovan Mitchell's going to leave one day. And I've always come from, I don't want to say unique perspective, but I feel like I have a very comfortable perspective on that. He is here now. He is happy to be here now. I know the Cavs will offer him a deal at one point, and he might still leave. And that's okay, because I look at some of the other pieces that are here. Now, I want Donovan Mitchell here forever. I'd love nothing more. But if he can take this team where they want to go, that almost makes it hard for him, Ryan, to say, you know what, I'm actually going to take a step back, or I'm going to go try somewhere else and move on. It becomes that, you want to make it impossible for him to leave. And you do that, I think, by getting to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Because you prove to a star player, Donovan Mitchell's a star player. What is a big part of the NBA? Proving to them that you can do it where they're at. That is why Milwaukee went out and got Dame Lillard, because they need to prove to Giannis that this is the place that you can do it. I want the Cavs to prove to Donovan Mitchell that this is a place he can do it and feel comfortable about that. And that's why this is a massive year for Mitchell and the Cavs on that forefront. So I feel like this is a big season for a lot of those, but it's not that I'm held hostage in any way. It's not that I am watching every game wondering how this impact is going to be. I come from it from a very comfortable standpoint, and I'm excited to watch them play. I'm truly excited to watch this Cavs team build and grow, and I can't wait for tonight. I'm so excited that the opening night is finally here for the Cavs.
Yeah, Matt, do you have a certain memory in mind of a opening tip-off season for the Cavs that you just sticks in your mind when you think of opening tip?
Yeah.
I know. I would say mine, I have two. Obviously, the Gordon Hayward one. But in terms of
LeBron coming
fun
back.
memories.
LeBron coming back.
And that was the Knicks, right?
Yep.
Am I wrong, or was that Anderson Varejao missing those free throws?
I think your memory serves you correct, my friend. I do believe really that. Yeah. And that night, well, the other one is the banner night, because that was opening night while the Guardian Indians were playing a World Series game across the street. So really, I would say, we need to erase the Gordon Hayward one from our memory, certainly. But yeah, banner night would be one, and then probably the night that LeBron came back. Yeah, those would be it. And even the other years, unfortunately, the night that we opened after LeBron left, too, was a big one. But yeah, banner night and the night that he came back, for sure. And those, because LeBron, and that's another reason why it's different, LeBron was just instant success. It's different in his career now with the Lakers. But when you had LeBron in his prime on that second run, you just felt instant success. And that was a team that you were walking out the big three. Here's Kevin Love. Here's Kyrie Irving. Here's LeBron James. And that was so different because I feel like Cavs fans didn't know what to do or didn't know really how to operate. That was so different for us. The first time around with LeBron, going to the one finals, and it was a lot maybe more disappointment than actual positive things, because I've said this before too, and it's maybe a bad take, but it's how I feel. You had the best player, in my opinion, to ever play the game here for 11 years, and you only won one ring. Now, I'm very thankful for that ring, and I will never trade that ring, but it's not necessarily a ratio that you look for. And basketball is different because it can be one guy. And I'm not discrediting Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving or Tristan Thompson or anybody else on those teams. But it was when LeBron chose to come back to the Cavs, when that letter came out that faithful day, that I was a part of really breaking that morning. Nobody in the world read that message as quick as I did, because I saw the tweet when it populated that he was coming back. You felt like you were gifted. Not a championship, but as close as you could get to it. with that decision. You were gifted that. Now, again, at that point, you didn't have Kevin Love yet, and you were all excited about, hey, you can play with Wiggins and whatever. Then when they made that trade for Kevin Love, the resurgence was, immense to say, okay, now we're really going to go do things. And Cavs fans over the 4 years on that second run kind of learned what it was like to be a top team, because we didn't know what that was like, to say that it truly ran through you and it all started with you. And I think as the first season went on and you felt it, build up, and certainly how those playoffs ended the first year with Kelly Olynyk dislocating Kevin Love's shoulder and the injury to Kyrie and all that kind of stuff. And then you win the championship and, okay, this is how it feels in those 2 years after that. This team is different, but Cavs fans are prepared for, you know what I mean? We're prepared for expectations now. We as fans are prepared to understand what it's like to have a really good basketball team, but it's still different because it's not LeBron. It's not that era anymore that you're the giant favorite to win the East and run through. So that's why it's more fun for me because there is that challenge. I sit here giddy and excited to say, I know what it's like to get to the top of the mountain. I know what it's like to get there, but this path is going to be a little more winding. This path is going to be a little more hard, but I embrace that. And I am intrigued by that to jump on it and say, let's go on this ride. Let's go. And I can almost enjoy the ride as much as I can the destination. Now, the Cavs' destination is a bit of a sliding scale and where you expect them to be. We all start with this being a playoff team. There's no question about that this is going to be a playoff team. My expectations start at a top 4 seed, which I fully expect. And I need the Cavs in the second round of the playoffs. After what happened last year with the Knicks, is that still a bad taste in your mouth, Ray?
Absolutely.
As we kick off tonight, or tip off tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of with you. But I hope the Cavs can use that as motivation.
Oh, they will.
And shout out to a good friend of mine and a former teammate of mine, Emmett Golden. I love Emmett. I talked about Gerard a lot. Gerard and I, nobody's done more shows than Gerard and I. I've done a lot of shows with Emmett Golden. And I love E. And I love his line on this. Sometimes you got to go and lose before you can go and win it. You got to go and understand what it takes to get there and how to navigate a series. And that can be said for Garland, Mobley, anybody else on this, because Donovan Mitchell had been there before, but certainly Mitchell and JB Bickerstaff as the coach of the Cavs. Sometimes you got to learn what that's like to navigate a series. So I feel like the Cavs are extremely well equipped for this journey, and I'm excited to be a part of that journey. Ryan, you and I are going to fill out our Cavs survey, and I'm going to mark down these answers, and I will put them in a I don't have a safe or a vault. Do we have a vault here? We don't have a vault here. I'll put them away for after the season. We'll come back to this day. We know it's opening night. We'll come back and rewatch the show. Let's fill out our Cavs survey. I'd love to get everybody's answers in the Twitter inbox, at Matt Fontana Show, at Matt Fontana 83. Question number 1. Ryan, how will the Cavs season end?
I mean, I want to say championship, but realistically,
you can say what you want.
No, I don't think they will. But I think they'll definitely do better than last year. I love that analogy of, dipping your toe in the water. I'm going to say I want to go higher, but I'm going to take one step. They'll make it to the second round of the playoffs.
I'll say Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
I say Eastern Conference Finals for this team. So I'm going to say they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So next up, these kind of are tied in a way, over under 50.5 wins. I'm easily taking the over there.
Yeah, I'm taking the over as well. Just by looking at it, at a plain view, they're better than last year. They're deeper than last year. They should win more games.
They're not going to blow it away. I think it's going to be a 55, 56 win team. So I'm going to take the over there on the over-under for the Cavs. I asked the question of the best player on the Cavs will be who? You can say Donovan Mitchell. I almost thought about the question of outside of Donovan Mitchell. Let's frame it this way. Rank the top 3 players for the Cavs on how this season will finish for number 1, number 2, number 3.
Mitchell 1, Mobley 2, Garland 3.
I would agree with that. I think this is a big year for Evan Mobley. I would go with that order 1, 2, 3. The best addition to the Cleveland Cavaliers at the end of the season will be who? You got Strus, George Niang. I'll throw you Amani Bates if you want to throw him in there. I don't know how much he's going to play, but we'll see. Tristan Thompson.
Yeah. Best addition. I'm going to go with Niang just because I think his impact on the bench and stretching the floor, and Strus is going to do that as well, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, he's a starter. I think with Niang, obviously Niang's going to have limited minutes, especially to begin with as he's on the new team. But I think his impact will be felt a little bit more, at least down the stretch, than it will Strus. And that's not to take anything away from Strus.
No, and I'm going to go Strus. I think with the 3, you needed that kind of guy. He is going to be there, so I'm going to go Max Strus on that. How many All-Stars will the Cleveland Cavaliers be representing? Where's the All-Star game this year? I didn't even look it up.
I don't know.
2024 NBA All-Star Game location. We are in fabulous Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. What was that look?
Let's go to LA or something.
Can't do that every year, Ryan. Pacers, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. How many All-Stars are there for the Cavs?
Realistically, the potential there is 3, of course. I'm going to go 2. I think it'll be Evan Mobley's first year.
Evan Mobley, Donovan
there's
Mitchell.
so many deep guards this year, and there always is, and it's getting more and more. So I think Garland might miss out.
When you have a lot of I think it's really hard for a team to get 3 All-Stars. Usually when you build it up that way, you have your star player, they go, somebody else on the rise. There'll be injury replacements and all that. I'm with you. I think 2 for the Cavs. I'm going to go Mobley, and I'll go Donovan Mitchell. A bold prediction. I'm not looking for lukewarm here, Ryan. I'm looking for a bold prediction for the Cleveland Cavaliers come the end of the season. Would you be ready for mine?
Let's hear it.
Evan Mobley will get MVP votes this season.
Wow.
That's bold. He ain't going to win it.
Yeah.
He ain't going to win it. But I think he might get MVP votes for this. No, I'll stick with that. Because it's too easy to say Donovan Mitchell will get MVP votes, because he usually does. But I think Evan Mobley will get MVP votes this season. I do. I really do. You want another one?
Yeah, what's that?
JB Bickerstaff will get. Where are you going to go there? Coach of the Year.
Well, I was going to say that,
Coach
but I knew that's where you were going to go. I mean,
Coach of the Year is so hard because it's a lot like other leagues where you get that award when you turn a crap team around. The Cavs are not a crap team, but I'm a big JB Bickerstaff supporter. And I just hope we get. You want to know my other hope? It's not a bold prediction for this season. Is that we can just kind of coast, man. I don't want any rockiness. I don't want to have to be having conversations come January about firing JB or he's not getting the job done. The Cavs are going to lose games. They're going to win games. I just want a nice, easy, enjoyable, coastable ride into the playoffs. I don't want any drama. I don't want any drama for this team. I don't want to get on the fire JB kind of trend or anything like that. I just want it to be a nice, easy ride this season.
Yeah, this isn't. I don't think this isn't as bold as yours per se, and it's not even necessarily because he's a candidate for sure. But Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay, I could listen to that. And that's something that obviously where his game is marked for sure. With an opportunity there. So we'd love to hear from you in the Twitter inbox at Matt Fontana 83 at Matt Fontana Show. Your predictions for the Cavs, over under, where they're going to end the season, your bold prediction, best newcomer as well, and how many All-Stars for the team. All right, we got to flip over and talk some Browns. There's some big news from Adam Schefter out there surrounding Deshaun Watson. A bit of a timetable that is a bit concerning. I had the clip yesterday saying don't put him on IR. I actually don't change that this morning. And the NFL apparently told Jim Irsay that those calls in the game were wrong. I don't care about it. We'll discuss all that. We're diving into some football. We'll do it next. Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. We're streaming live on the iHeart app. Catch us on Twitter. We're on YouTube and Facebook as well, at Matt Fontana Show. And again, the iHeart app is really easy to do. Download it. Take it to where you need to go. We're at work. Pull it up on the computer. We're streaming live every morning from 9 to 11 right there on the iHeart app. We got football to talk about. We got Deshaun Watson to talk about. That comes your way next. Cavs opening day right here on Big Play. Well, more news starting to trickle out on the Deshaun Watson front. This coming from Adam Schefter yesterday, maybe painting a grimmer picture than we expected when it came to Deshaun Watson's shoulder injury. We'll talk about it right here on Big Play. Welcome back, Matt Fontana Show. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler, very important part of the show. You know, it's funny when we were naming the show, like, I know that a lot of radio shows just are that, like the name of the host and their show. And I was like, yeah, I never really kind of bought that. But when I came here to Big Play, they're like, well, that's kind of what we do. You know, we have the Hanford Dixon show. It's Booby's World. It's all that other kind of stuff. So I just kind of went along with it. Chico show, the Chico Borman show. So I kind of went with it. Even though Ryan is as much part of the show as I am. So it's the Matt Fontana Show with Ryan Tyler. How about that? Change all the graphics. Get Cody on all that. So we got some news from Adam Schefter last night. And this was... Can I start with what I really want to start with? Why is this stuff getting leaked out? I hate the drama. I don't like it. I don't want it. I'd like this to be a straightforward thing. He got hurt. He can't play. We move forward. That's not the world that we live in. This is not an injury. Well, maybe now apparently it was that they should have just sat him down for a month and dealt with it. I have scars and wounds of stuff getting leaked out to the media because anytime something like this comes out, you first ask yourself who leaked it. And it's either the player or the team. This is not specific to Watson and the Browns. It's either the player and their agent or the team. And you ask yourself when it comes to trade rumors, injury reports, contract negotiations, who does it benefit? Who does it benefit? God, what's the line in Lebowski? He goes, if you find who benefits and there's your path, right? I'll find it and break. I just watched Lebowski the other night. Always holds up. Who does this benefit? That the news is coming out, that there's more things being trickled out. Here's what comes out from Adam Schefter at 8 o'clock last night. Some clarity on Deshaun Watson's injury. Doctors told them that he has a strain of the subscapularis within the rotator cuff, subscapularis, within the rotator cuff. He continues to have both pain and weakness with movement. This type of injury in baseball normally causes pitchers to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Watson continues to work to regain strength and velocity in his shoulder and shorten that window. Okay, my anger side, if you knew it was 4 to 6 weeks, and that's what happens to a baseball player, which is pretty much the same motion as a quarterback, why was he not put on IR? They hoped they'd shorten that window, right? You want to know who I can blame for that? That Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I'll be back in 5 months from an Achilles injury. Stop. Stop with that crap. If you are hurt and the doctors tell you it's always just this race to get back. Everybody was remarked when, who was it came back from the ACL injury in 8 months? I feel like it's a running back.
Cam Akers.
Was it Cam Akers?
Well, I think
he had an Achilles.
He came back. He wasn't supposed to come back, but then he came back during their run in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. It's all this. And I'm not saying that modern medicine isn't better than what it was 20 years ago. And I'm sure there's a world that there's a surgery out there that ACL is as quick as meniscus or something like that. There's going to be some revolutionary thing that you're back from an ACL in 3 months. Find that, dude. Get that surgery done, and you'll be a billionaire. You'll be a billionaire. I've long said you find a surgery that you could do on somebody to guarantee that they never tear their ACL. That's impossible, I'm sure. But you'd be a billionaire. So, this shortening of that window. And I believe that they're doing everything that they can. But if it tells me that they told him normally 4 to 6 weeks, then what a mishandling on the Browns side of this. Then that 4 to 6 week window. In baseball, when you get hurt, pitcher specifically, and they say it's 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes that's just 4 to 6 weeks to get back to throwing. And then you have another 2 to 3 to 4 weeks of strengthening. 4 to 6 weeks might just be, that just gets you back to a rehab start down in AA. Are we talking about 4 to 6 weeks with Deshaun Watson just to get him back to start strengthening his shoulder again? And then, I said yesterday, don't put him on IR and play him. It was a 4 to 6 week injury. What the hell's he doing playing? Like, the mishandling of this has just been insane. And people jumped on me for saying that. And they got so pissed because they would say, well, what do you want him to do? It's an injury. Some days it feels better than it doesn't. And this isn't a quick flip the page and he's good to go. People freaked out about that. But now if I'm reading this stuff right, I go, well, it's very clear that it was mishandled. It was very clear that this has been mishandled. I'm going to be angry about that. Because I know the only way for the Browns to get right is for Deshaun Watson to get right. And as the clip that we sent out this morning from yesterday's show, getting him healthy is only one part of it. You got to get him back to playing well, too. And the conversation has been reignited. Is it time to go find another quarterback? Not permanently. Because those days might be coming, too. I'm talking about in the interim. I'm talking about for 4 to 6 weeks. Is that diagnosis that Adam Schefter said 4 to 6 weeks? Is that 4 to 6 weeks from today? Or is that 4 to 6 weeks from a month ago when he first sustained it? Has it gotten worse? That was another report yesterday. The MRI said that hit didn't make anything worse. It's so frustrating, man. This is so frustrating. And it's derailing what has already been a damn good season. Like, you're 4-2. You have a signature win. This has been great. This has been amazing. And it's just been derailed because of this. And I know, what are we going to do? What can you do? Nothing. There's no it doesn't sound like there's a surgery to be had, thank God. It doesn't sound like, is it just time? Like, I really don't know how to feel about the Schefter stuff, right? Like, if it's just, you want to know what it does? It angers me. Maybe ignorance was bliss. Maybe I was happier not knowing this crap. Because hearing from just Schefter say that, it's a 4 to 6 week injury. Now I'm going to start questioning everything with the Browns. Did you know that when it started? Why didn't you just put him on IR? Now, we had Jack Duffin on yesterday, and shout out to Jack. You missed it, go back and check it out on our Twitter page. Podcasts are up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. And Jack sent a tweet out this morning that I agree with. Unless you are 100% sure Watson isn't going to play any in the next 4 games, then IR doesn't make sense. You have 7 inactive spots every Sunday, so it doesn't matter if he takes up one of those, and you keep all your options on the table due to the uncertainty. That's a move that you can make now, right? Moving forward, though, I guess you go back and try to retroactively change. Maybe they make that move then. But also, there's reports out, Brad Steenbrook of the OBR saying they're going to sign P.J. Walker to the active roster today. Of course, they did. They let Deion Jackson go. He, by the way, got claimed by the Giants. So they have the roster spot. They will sign P.J. Walker to the active roster. And as we discussed with Jack, you are now afforded that third quarterback rule because both Dorian Thompson-Robinson, P.J. Walker, and as long as Deshaun Watson doesn't go on IR, all 3 of those quarterbacks are on your 53. You can now have the 3 quarterback rule. There is no point on putting him on IR now. There's no point. That is long past. You want to sit him on Sunday to get him the further rest, that's fine, but there's no need to put him on IR. But now, I guess nothing has changed, right? He sustained the injury. He missed the Baltimore game. He missed the San Francisco game. And he all but missed the Titans game. With the bye week, that's pretty much like putting him on IR. Now, I'm shooting from the hip because I feel like IR counts in game weeks. I feel like a bye week doesn't count for the IR. Don't quote me on that. But let's say that he misses the Seattle game. Okay, then. There's your IR stretch. Nothing changed, right? I guess the one thing that would have changed was the tempering of my expectations and the expectations of the fans. And I got to remind myself, I am owed nothing. You are owed nothing. They're trying to handle this in the best way that they believe. And the best way that they believe is the rehab and, week to week trying to see that he goes. I then go back to why did Kevin Stefanski right after the game say, Watson's going to play against Seattle? That seemed to be a pretty declarative statement that Deshaun Watson was going to play this weekend. Can I jive down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole? This is just me. I hate doing this. I hate it. I said after the game that Kevin Stefanski making a declarative statement that Deshaun Watson was going to play against the Seattle Seahawks sounded a little like an ultimatum. Coaches do that from time to time in the media, where they're going to let that out there. They're going to say it, and it sounds like an ultimatum. Ryan, what did we get 2 days later? A report from Adam Schefter that this is a 4 to 6 week injury. I don't think that would come from the Cleveland Browns. Is that a response to Kevin Stefanski's declarative statement? I will leave that for people to ponder. Do you know what that says? Dysfunction. I'm not trying to create this. I don't want it. I hate it. Because all it does is detract from my team. You know what I want to do on Sundays, Ryan? Watch my team win. The week-to-week stuff. I'd like to sit here and talk about Myles Garrett's candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. I'd like to sit here and tell you how much I love Dustin Hopkins. But I can't because of all this other crap that's going on. And it would have been easier, yes, to palate it if they just put him on IR and you sit back. But now when this stuff just like, dude, can I tell you how much I hate seeing reports from Adam Schefter about the Browns? Because they serve no purpose. It's not good. This is not good that this crap is getting leaked out because it is a posturing maneuver. And I'm choosing to believe that this is coming from Watson's side. Oh, but wait, did you see Brady Quinn and Quincy Avery going at it yesterday? Did you see that, Ryan?
Of course I did.
Who didn't? Everybody did. I start with this. Brady Quinn has done this before. He did this to Baker Mayfield, where he'll say something, he'll get somebody all riled up, and then he goes with we'll jump on my podcast, you know? And I would assume that Brady Quinn is a little vindictive towards the Cleveland Browns. I would imagine that he's not a big fan of the brown and orange for how his career started. He wants to blame, whatever. I'd imagine that he's got an axe to grind with the Browns, so don't forget that. And that's not necessarily a shot at Brady Quinn. I'll start this by saying I got nothing for or against Brady Quinn.
Yeah, I don't either. And if you go watch, like, because, you know, they have that 30-second snippet or whatever when he's calling Deshaun, like, comparing him to that trust fund. But if you go and watch the rest of that clip, he talks about how good the Browns are.
Yeah.
And his real only criticism was the quarterback play, which right now is the worst in the NFL.
Well, sure. And that's like, shout out to Jake Trotter. He had the quarterback EPA 31, or I'm sorry, I think 32 and 33 is like PJ Walker and Deshaun Watson. Like, it's about as bad as you can get. So you're right. Let's give full context here. So Fox Sports Radio, Brady Quinn joined LeVar Arrington and Jonas Knox. And he talked about the Browns. And the quote that riled some people up is that everyone with a medical opinion has cleared Deshaun Watson. The situation is also is almost similar to a kid getting a $230 million trust fund. You ask them to get a job, and they have no incentive to do so. That's a pretty hefty shot. You know, there's that statement in pro sports, and I guess even amongst former players, you don't talk about other guys' money, right? That's their business. Brady is now in the media. I think he does fine on Big Noon Kickoff, and take him or leave whenever you want. So then Quincy Avery, and I think most people know who Quincy Avery is. He is a private quarterback trainer, and he's not specific to Deshaun Watson. Like, I think he's worked with like Quinn Ewers. Like, he's just a quarterback guy. He's a quarterback guru. That's usually what people say. So is Deshaun Watson being a top quarterback. He works with Quincy Avery. So, of course, Quincy Avery is on Deshaun Watson's side. He quote retweets it. Brady, I'm going to be real. You don't know what the blank you are talking about and sit behind a microphone gossiping like a little high school chick. Brady Quinn comes back. Come talk to me anytime you want in person. Open invitation. Quincy, I just saw you on Saturday. I don't have anything I want to talk to you about. I'm telling you are talking about things you don't know. Talking on another man who doesn't know you is weak. And Brady goes, well, I didn't see you on Saturday, I guess. Quincy goes, point being, And then Quinn drops the, well, how about we massage this conversation and get to a happy ending? Does that sound satisfactory? And that's where everybody's jumping on the, shut it down and, oh, Brady got him and all that other kind of stuff, whatever. Which, I mean, I don't try to get into Twitter beefs and all that kind of stuff, but it tells you, like, Quincy Avery didn't respond to that one because there really was no response to be had. So, yeah, if you want to get, okay, point Brady Quinn. Okay, he took it down to Quincy Avery and all that kind of stuff. But it's like this Twitter beef, this kind of stuff. Like, I guess it's a part of the world that we live in. Media members like Schefter and Ian Rappaport, and they get stuff from the players. When this stuff leaks out, it's because the players or the teams want it to leak out. And they'll do that to help their side of things. So what are we battling with right now? What are we fighting with? This makes it sound like Deshaun Watson has a narrative, truth or not. Oh my God, I hate this. I hate this crap so much. What is it? It's people are questioning if Watson is actually healthy enough to play, and Watson and his team are fighting back. Here's what is the truth? I'd like the truth to believe that, yes, he cannot play and he is injured and he wants to be out there. But when I see Watson's team responding, that gives me nervousness to say maybe it's not true. When people say things about you that are untrue, what do? You go, yeah, it's a load of crap, and you walk away. The fact that he feels like he needs to defend, Quincy Avery feels like he needs to defend Watson, and again, I'm assuming that this stuff going to Schefter is coming from Watson. That speaks to me that there is a weakness there, that they actually are trying to defend it, which tells me that maybe there's something actually there, and I'm going to go neurotic, and I'm going to have a heart attack. Like, oh my God. Dude, it's mostly because I've seen it before, right? Seen it before. Team says this, player says that. You got it with your $230 million quarterback supposed to be here for 5 years. And this is how we're starting. Suspension. Okay, fine. We're past. I thought we were past this. Damn it. I thought we were past this. Seriously. Can we go back to talking Cavs? I hate this.
I'd love to.
Dude, I hate this. It's so... Oh, my God. Then you factor in the people that just hate Watson because of the off-the-field stuff. I get that. That's fine. The $230 million quarterback, like, he's going to be here. Like, this is just the worst start that I can... You're one of the biggest pain. We're 4-2. We're a good football team, and I got to deal with this stuff. I hate this. I hate it so much. And there's a world that, yeah, like once that divide starts, there's sometimes no going back. And I'd like to believe that the Browns and Deshaun Watson are on the same page and that this is all just fodder and this is all just media crap and it's driven. And you know what? Maybe I just got to jump on that bandwagon. I just got to believe that everything is all good. But at every turn, Ryan, this makes me feel worse. Like at every turn of this, literally a year and a half into trading for Deshaun Watson, and I feel about as worse. I've not felt worse about this situation. And again, I didn't like the stuff that he did off the field, and I really didn't like when they traded for him. I didn't. I put that stuff aside, frankly, because the people in the case put it aside. They accepted their whatever the deal was, and if that's good enough for them, I was not a victim in that case, so I have no ground to stand on. That's their business. They're adults, and they accepted it or not. And what he did or didn't do, that's between them. So then I focus on the football side of it. And I focus on what my team needs. And we are a year and a half into this, and it's been nothing but trouble. It's been nothing but a giant headache at every single freaking turn of the road. And I'm sick of it. I wanted this to finally be the era of Browns football that I could stop the dysfunction and that I could just talk about football and worry about on the field. And apparently we're immune to that. Apparently that just can't happen. And you want to know what? I'm not blaming the Haslams. I'm not blaming Kevin Stefanski. I'm not even necessarily blaming Deshaun Watson. It's just that this situation got created. And here we are. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's the fans' fault. How about that? Finally, we'll start looking in the mirror. Maybe it's our fault. We're the common denominator in all this crap. Maybe it's us. Go root for Buffalo, I guess. I don't know. Dude, it's just like, am I wrong, Ryan? Am I overreacting to this? Is this too much? Am I reading this situation wrong?
No, I mean,
like,
it's certainly frustrating.
It's extremely frustrating.
It's annoying, is what it is.
That's exactly it. And the thing is, people could just say, stop talking about it or stop. I can't. I'm a Browns fan. We're all Browns fans. I can't. Because I just know deep down the only way for my team to do what I really want them to do is to have a quarterback like Deshaun Watson play well to go win a Super Bowl. This is a vivid memory in my life, and I don't know why. Well, actually, I know exactly why. I was, I don't know, like maybe 16, something like that, 16, 17. I was in high school. We were at my grandma's house for Christmas. And there's we have a big family. I have a lot of cousins on both sides. And this is my dad's side of the family. And we're over there and we're enjoying a great Christmas. People are opening their white elephant gifts in the back, and we always play games and have fun. And I'm sitting in the front room, and there was a football game on. It wasn't Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. It was just, whatever. There's a football game on. And we're sitting there. My dad and my Uncle Scott are sitting there, and we're just talking. And I watched my dad and my Uncle Scott come to the realization that they probably won't ever see a Browns Super Bowl. And I don't know why that hit me to my core. And at the time, they were in their 50s, and they'd seen a lot, and they're lifelong Browns fans. And I'm sitting there at 16. I'll see one. I sit here at 34 now, Ryan, seeing every little bit that my dad and Uncle Scott were debating that day, asking the question, will I ever see just one before I die? That's it. I get it now. I do. I get it now. It makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, I guess it was never going to be easy. And there's a world that Watson will come back in a couple of weeks and he'll play fine, because that's the other ball of wax in this thing. He's got to come back and play well. He comes back, maybe he plays well. We go on a run and we're hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in a couple of years. I'd love that. Great. But for right now, it sucks. For right now, it absolutely sucks. Start PJ Walker. Go trade for Jacoby Brissett, which Jack Duffin said yesterday would be a 3. Dude, if giving that up gives me a little solace from this stuff, give him a 1. I don't even give a damn anymore. I'm so apathetic. Like, it's frustrating. Oh, man. I feel better. I feel a little better. Needed to just get that off my chest a little bit. But, like, dude, man. Seeing those Schefter reports are not always a good thing. They're just not.
Do you ever think about how, like, this Deshaun contract with giving him that record-setting guaranteed money, other quarterbacks are like, dude, come on, you're ruining this for all of us?
No. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I always held steadfast that that deal was in the anomaly. And as we see more deals coming out with Burrow and Herbert, Tua will get his. The owners are setting that. They go, that's the anomaly. Now, is a giant fat chunk of Joe Burrow's contract guaranteed? Sure. But if anything, it gave more power to. I always felt like the teams were, and even the players were conditioned to say that deal was the anomaly. It's not going to be the trend. And that's what I think is held true to this point. All right, let's catch a break. Let's get to the morning update. Yeah, the NFL came out on these calls. Jim Irsay, of course, is bringing this up that the NFL made and admitted that 2 of those calls were wrong. I got no time for it. We'll get back into the Cavs as well as we get into hour 2. Time hop, a huge day, infamous. You can hear the play call in your head, I'll tell you that. With one thing we got in time hop. Brackets are up at Matt Fontana Show, and we'll get to our wagers for the Cavs and Nets tonight as well. That's all coming up. Hour 2 upon us. Big play right here. Joining us, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We're all over the place, and you can join us on Tipico. What you do? You download that Tipico app. You use that code BIGPLAY150. And you can get right in there and place your wagers for tonight. So I didn't place it yet, Ryan, because I'm waiting. The boost of the day. Can you see that on my screen? Not really. It's just white up there, I think. The big play boost of the day. Max Strus, 10 points. Donovan Mitchell, 30. And the Cavs win plus 470. I like that. I'll be placing a $10 wager right there to win 57 right there on Tipico. The boosts are great. The boosts are awesome. They have them for every game. We do our special boosts here at Big Play. And you deposit that 150, or you deposit 50, you get the 150 in bonus bets when you use that code BigPlay150. So you can play along with this all season long on Tipico. It's the place to play. Download the app. You can do it right on the website as well. Tipico. Use that code BigPlay150 when you get signed up, and you can roll with the Cavs tonight. Cavs a 1.5 point road favorite. I'm going to take them on the spread too. I might take alternate spread there, up to like 4.5 or something. So we'll do that later. We'll get our bets in, but sign up with our friends at Tipico. Hour 2 coming up. Morning update next. Stay with us right here on Big Play. All right, let's get to it. The morning update. All the stories that you got to know for your Wednesday Cavs season opening edition of the Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. If you're new to the show, we do it every morning. Stories are plenty across sports, non-sports. Ryan's got them all. Let's get to it. The morning update, Ryan.
Well, baseball, man. How about those Diamondbacks? They beat the Phillies in Game 7, 4-2, and they're headed to the World Series, Matt. I saw a stat.
That Matt went like 1-7 on picks or something.
Well, no, we all know that. But anyway, both the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, just like 2 years ago, both lost 100 games. And that was the most ever within 2 years to make it to the World Series following that many losses in a season.
I mean, the trend that I jump on is that in August, the Diamondbacks had a 10% chance of making the playoffs. And here they are. Do you know who hates this more than anything? Major League Baseball. To not have the Astros or the Phillies in there, that hurts. And I guess, yeah, you like the upstart Diamondbacks and the Rangers. The broadcast ratings will not be great. Like, they won't. And I'll tell you, as an average fan, I'm not nearly as interested. I would have liked to have seen Bryce Harper. I'm not a Phillies fan. But even if the Astros had made it, then I've been rooting for the Diamondbacks. I got nothing for or against the Rangers, and I got nothing for or against the Diamondbacks. That's the worst place that you could be for a championship series. Yeah, good luck, I guess. Go. All right, make your selection. I'm going to go Rangers in 6.
Yeah, I will go.
Can I do that on Tipico and Exacto?
I think you can. I think it'll be I'd like to see the Diamondbacks more than anything.
Here's the thing.
I'm gonna go Rangers in 7.
I don't care. That's bad. Like, I'm sorry to Major League Baseball. All right, baseball, futures. I don't think I can do Exacto for some reason on Tipico. But I can just take the Rangers to win. Minus 165. Yeah, I can do that. That's what's going to happen, I think. There you go. So take the Diamondbacks. If you listen to the show, you know.
Alrighty, well, the NBA tipped off yesterday, as we all know. The Nuggets in the ring ceremony beat the Lakers, and they looked really, really good. And if you were listening, you saw an interesting crowd chant from the Nuggets fans, something along the lines of, "Who's your daddy?"
I mean, LeBron, he's always going to catch that kind of stuff. Like, he's LeBron. It's game 1. Like, maybe slow your roll a little bit. I don't know. Whatever. Nuggets are going to be a good team. Like, they're going to be a pretty formidable team this season. It's game 1. I think the bigger concern for the Lakers are how they're going to navigate with LeBron playing these reduced minutes. You know, so Anthony Davis had 34, but he only had 17. LeBron had 21 in 29 to lead the Lakers. They got it. You know, they added some pieces. They re-signed Austin Reeves. Like, are they? I think the Lakers would be a playoff team. Sure, win a title. I don't think so. And they're going to try to keep LeBron in this reduced minutes thing to get him. You want to know why? Because they need him for the play-in tournament. Because the NBA wants LeBron in the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament, the mid-season tournament, which is just asinine and stupid. That tournament is stupid. I will continue to say that. It means nothing, and you're taxing these guys when you don't really need to, and then you're going to penalize teams for resting them. I don't buy it. Not at all.
Already, well, Charles Barkley seemed like he caught Commissioner Adam Silver a little bit off guard, asking him about the, I guess I'll say, increase in domestic violence cases that we're seeing for NBA athletes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concerning trend, I think, across all of sports. You know, when you think about the Wander Franco thing, which just kind of went away, like people haven't been talking about it, it's very concerning. It comes back to the people and the players that you're employing. And I'm not saying that there won't always be, it's not always ever going to be perfect. You're always going to have bad apples in there. But is that something that they really need to truly address? I don't know. You know, I don't know. And yeah, Adam Silver probably needs to be prepared for that question moving forward.
Alrighty, well, as you can see, I got on my cap.
Yeah, I'm
here
interested.
Because I'm going to call giant cap on Giannis Antetokounmpo. A report came out via Scott Grodsky. Giannis said it was the first time in his NBA career he didn't know the number of his contract. He just signed it because he wanted to be here, that being Milwaukee, Matt. I don't think that is true at all. You're telling me you had no idea how much money you're getting.
But like in Giannis's world where he is well taken care of in generational wealth already, sometimes he just would tell the agent, get my deal done, and I want to stay here. And then they come back and they go, okay, we got it done. And it was for this amount. Like, that is true. I could believe that. And it's up to of course the agent's going to get every dollar. But the thing is, that is the point of having an agent. Is it every last penny? Not necessarily, but it's the smart move. It's the way to maximize dollars. I think that was the hard thing with Lamar Jackson negotiating with the Ravens. He was just going for the most guaranteed money and the most amount of money. Where sometimes an agent will be like, wait a minute, let's finagle this a little bit. And let's get you the most amount of money that you can get for the most amount of time. Or maybe the shortest amount of time. Go out there and ball out and we'll do it again in a couple of years. That's why agents can sometimes be important. So, you might not believe it, Ryan.
No way.
With that interesting headwear,
No
I
way.
understand it.
No way.
There's a world I believe it. I do.
Alrighty, well, last update here for this wonderful Wednesday edition of the Matt Fontana Show. Matt, I woke up to some news, and I was utterly devastated. And I know you feel the same.
I know, yeah.
We have been robbed, Matt. John Jones suffered a torn pectoral tendon, and we will no longer get to see the fight that I don't know if there's a fight that I've been more excited to see. Our hometown boy, Stipe Miocic.
The fight is off. Miocic is off. Here's the worst thing. John Jones is out 8 months with this surgery. He might retire. Stipe might retire. My brother texted me that this morning in our group, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The UFC has this rash right now of guys getting hurt in training. I'm super sad, man, because I tell you this to my core. I thought Stipe was going to knock him out, and I wanted him to knock him out and cement the fact that Stipe's I already know he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. There would have been no question. There would have been no cap on that. And we are robbed of it because and you see the video, like as soon as John Jones starts reaching, like,
imagine that beautiful watch party we would have had out here, sponsored by Tipico. It would have been amazing.
So excited. Now we're robbed of as a fan. I'm super sad about that today. So again, Stipe and John Jones off, and we might not ever see it. Great stuff on the morning update. We got a few things football related to jump back into, Ryan, because Connor Orr, MMQB, the 9 deadline deals we'd like to see. Derrick Henry to the Cleveland Browns. That's what Connor Orr writes. It came out a half an hour ago. Derrick Henry to the Browns. Compensation. A 3rd-round pick next year, which you could use for Jacoby Brissett, and a 6th-round pick the following year. Connor writes, the Browns' time to win is now. Whether Deshaun Watson wants to come for that ride is up to him. What a damning statement that is. Cleveland doesn't have a 1st-round pick in the upcoming draft. And while the focus should be fortifying the run game beyond Nick Chubb years, Henry would be a quick solution to a pressing need. Cleveland cannot win games without completely overstressing its opponents at the line of scrimmage. Depending on what Watson does, the need for ancillary pieces who can diversify their game plan are pressing. That's actually true whether or not Watson is playing healthy. A 3 and a 5 for Derrick Henry. You doing that deal, Ryan?
A 3 and a 5 or 3 and a 6?
I'm sorry, 3. No, it's a 3 and a. I'm sorry, 3 and a 6. 3 and a 6.
3 and a 6. 3 next year, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, 3 next year and then a 6 after that. You're intrigued. You gave me a look of intrigue. Can't back that up now. You said you gave me a look of yes.
Well, I'm just trying to think. Like,
don't think a 3 and a 6 for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I would. Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
He's got career passing stats, 6 out of 8 for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Derrick Henry start throwing the football for you if you need him.
There we go. Just Wildcat every play, Derrick Henry.
No, I mean I'm not doing it. Like that compensation is fine. Like if you truly needed to make that move, I guess that's okay for Derrick Henry. Does it actually solve your problems here? I don't know. I really don't know. And especially, I saw enough out of Kareem Hunt in the Colts game that I'd be fine with him running the football the way that he is. You know what I mean? Do you want to put this up as our Twitter question? Would you rather the Browns trade for Jacoby? If the Browns were going to make a trade, would you rather them trade for Jacoby Brissett or Derrick Henry? Put that up at Matt Fontana Show. That's spice right there. If the Browns were to make a trade, would you rather them trade for Derrick Henry or Jacoby Brissett? Put that up. I'm going to hit the retweet right on that at Matt Fontana 83. I'll tell you that. And I'm sure people will instantly come back about like what the compensation is. Just if the Browns are going to make a trade, would you rather them trade for Derrick Henry or Jacoby Brissett? That's going up at Matt Fontana Show. Vote on it there, and we'll see. Jim Irsay coming out saying that the NFL admitted and understands that 2 of the pivotal calls at the end of the game between the Browns were incorrect. Irsay posted the statement on Twitter last night, also talking about the Anthony Richardson surgery. Was likely referring to the team's expected follow-up with NFL officials on Monday to get further clarification on the illegal contact and defensive pass interference calls in the final minutes of the Colts' loss to the Browns on Sunday. So this always happens, right? After the game, teams can submit plays to the NFL for review. And sometimes they're taken into account for potential rule changes, or they're taken into account for, referee grading, so to speak. What does it matter? Like, okay, I guess, let me put it this way. For the Colts, it matters because they can maybe sleep a little bit better at night. To the NFL, yeah, that matters because you can hold the officials a little more accountable. And as they grade them out for who gets to do the Super Bowl and playoff games, sure, that all factors in. Do you want to know what it doesn't matter, or the group it doesn't matter to, and it shouldn't matter to you, to me, to the Cleveland Browns? Don't read anything into that. Don't waste a second sitting there trying to play the game of, well, that call went this way or that call went that way. It doesn't matter. And don't try to take any part of that win away from us either. And that's what the Colts are trying to do. You will have calls go for you. You have calls go against you. That is what happens in the NFL with officials in the game. And do you want to know who really likes it that way? The NFL. They like the drama. They like being able to have any play and any call go. Now, on the betting aspect of it, because it was funny when a lot of people tried to bring up betting in any professional sport, they bring the officials into it. And they say, you better be on your P's and Q's, man, because there's millions of dollars out there being bet. Here's the thing. The sports books don't give a damn. They don't. Because they're always going to come out in the green. That's why they have these giant buildings. That's why they make all the money that they do. So the sports books don't care. The NFL doesn't care. I'm sorry for the fans out there. They're not really going to care. They really don't. So it's not going to change. Deal with it. Some calls will go your way and some won't. And you just got to live with that's part of the game. So the NFL coming out and trying to, again, supposedly admitting to Jim Irsay, as the call's wrong, what does that do? What does it do for you? Lets Colts fans sleep a little bit better? Okay, fine. Like, I don't see any point of it. Jim Irsay's getting that out because he wants to, rile up Colts fans or try to dissuade Colts. Whatever. I just thought that was pretty stupid that it came out. And that Irsay's going to run out. Like, it changes anything? What? I will admit, fully, I thought the illegal contact was a fine call. The DPI was a bad call. That was an uncatchable pass. There, I admitted it. Do you want to know what? Browns still won the football game. Go cry about it. That's where we're at. Our Twitter question is up early. Who would you rather have the Browns trade for? Jacoby Brissett or Derrick Henry? Early results are Derrick Henry. Connor War came out just this morning with 9 trades that he'd like to see at the trade deadline. I'm sorry, 5. 5? Nope, 9. Got a lot of trades. Number 1 on the list was Derrick Henry to the Browns. Number 2, Patrick Surtain to the Eagles. Oh, God, please don't. No. Yeah, don't do that. They don't need any more help. He said 2 first-round picks for Pat Surtain, the second. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He's got another Browns trade in here. Do you want to guess who would give me that reaction?
Can I know the position?
Quarterback.
Oh, God. Another one besides Jacoby?
Uh-huh.
Like, is he better than Jacoby?
Uh-uh.
And it's a trade?
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to think on this for a second. Is he a starting quarterback right now?
About to lose his job. He's kind of hurt. There's a report this morning that they're warming up the backup to start.
I mean, you're not talking about Jimmy G, are you?
No.
Oh,
worse.
No, wait, no.
Worse.
Don't even tell me. I don't want to sit here. And if I hear any discourse about Ryan Tannehill to the Browns, I'll freak out.
Ryan Tannehill. God, please, no.
He's horrible.
No. God, please, no. No, not Ryan Tannehill. No. God, no, please. Connor Orr's trades that we want to say. Who is the we? Who in this world want to see the Browns trade for Ryan Tannehill? He says a 5th-round pick next year for the Browns to get Ryan Tannehill from the Titans. God, please, no. No. To steal it from Michael Scott. I sent that gif out this morning about John Jones getting hurt. God, please, no. No. No! I should have scrolled down earlier. I wouldn't even have brought this article up, Ryan. I wouldn't even have brought it up. Oh, my God. Connor Orr, trades we want to see. Derrick Henry to the Browns and Ryan Tannehill to the Browns. He writes, depending on whether Kyler Murray expedites his return, we can also slide Josh Dobbs into this space. The Browns got a 5th-round pick for Dobbs in the first place. Could they simply return it? Who knows? He writes, I know Tannehill isn't an upgrade, but it would be foolish for the Browns, especially with Watson's shoulder, to not look at the quarterback market. Connor, I agree with you, just not Ryan Tannehill. Again, everything hinges on this team's pivot to competitiveness this year. While you still have to maintain a sense of pragmatism here, good word, there's nothing wrong with supporting Watson and bolstering the offense with a quarterback who you can win games with. Roseman in Philadelphia has been instructive in his humbling self via transactions. So there's a lot about that with Andrew Berry, that he comes from the Howie Roseman tree, that they make a lot of trades. And Andrew Berry, really, he makes trades. He enjoys doing that. And I expect them to be active in the trade market. I don't know if they'll actually pull one off, but I fully guarantee you that they're making phone calls just for the love of God, not for Ryan Tannehill. Not for Ryan Tannehill. Oh, my God. You could do a combo deal. Would you do Tannehill and Derrick Henry for a 3? How about this? You know what? I'll do you one better. I'll take Tannehill, but just as that deal for Derrick Henry. You know what? I'm lying to everybody. I don't want that. I don't want either one of them. If I had to pick one, I'll take Henry, I guess. But dude, if the Browns trade for Ryan Tannehill, I might take the rest of the season off. I'm not saying that they shouldn't go get a quarterback. I am on going to get a quarterback, just not Ryan Tannehill. Please, go get Jacoby Brissett. You know, and shout out to, oh my God, I apologize. I read it this morning. Dogs by Nature. You follow their blog? They're SB Nation, a Browns community there. And Barry Shuck, shout out to Bear. He put up an article of quarterbacks that are realistic for the Cleveland Browns to go trade for. Matt Ryan, or trade or sign. Matt Ryan, no. Cooper Rush, Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback. Nah, we'll see. Joe Flacco, free agent. Wouldn't that be apropos? Marcus Mariota, trade for him for the Eagles. And Zach Collaros, Canadian football Winnipeg Blue Bomber legend and former Bearcat, Zach Collaros. Barry brings up on SB Nation, Dogs by Nature. No, I mean, again, of all of them, not really. Brissett just makes a lot of sense. But as we talked with Jack Duffin yesterday, it's going to take you a 3. It's going to take you a 3. So, I don't know. Dude, I cannot believe that he... And if maybe it's just Connor Orr putting the Browns all over this thing because he knows we would talk about it and bring it up. Oh, God. Here's one that make you feel worse. Vikings trade Danielle Hunter to the Ravens, leading sacker in the NFL. Chase Young to the Seahawks. Saquon Barkley to the Dolphins. Garrett Bowles gets moved to the Jets. Justin Simmons to the Steelers. Jerry Jeudy goes to the Cowboys. Those are all the trades available, or that Connor Orr said he'd like to see. I see your screen there, Ryan. Why do you have Trey Lance up over there?
I was looking at what the Cowboys traded for him. I just couldn't remember what it was.
What was it?
It was a 4th rounder.
Trey Lance, anybody?
Dude, I mean, okay, I'm not saying that's a even possibility.
No. Do you want to know why that's not a possibility?
Yeah.
Because the world, Cleveland on the shores of Lake Erie, would burst into flames over people going, maybe we just go with Trey Lance moving forward. Get rid of Deshaun Watson, and we'll turn this over to Trey Lance. We can't handle that. There's no way that this town can handle that. Zero. You want a hot take? I'll take Ryan Tannehill over Trey Lance.
No, that's outrageous.
Yes.
That's outrageous.
Yes, because I don't want to deal with all that other bull
That's
crap.
not-
I don't
well,
want to deal with it.
I guess maybe a year
I'm
rental.
sick of it
A year
today.
rental, yeah.
I'm sick of it today. Could you imagine the world that we would have to live in if they traded for Trey Lance and all day people would just be screaming for Trey Lance to start over Deshaun Watson? I'd quit. That's a lie. I wouldn't quit. But
Hey, if we're winning games, we're winning games.
early results, it's now flipped to Jacoby Brissett. 55-45. People say Brissett. Browns Live on Twitter says no way people would rather have Henry. Just asking. Should redo the poll and put Ryan Tannehill in it.
Or Trey Lance.
Or Trey Lance. Or Trey Lance if you want it.
I love how you were just like looking at my
I just
screen.
looked
You're
up
like,
and I go,
what the hell?
why are you Googling Trey Lance, Ryan? Why are you bringing up Trey Lance in this? Like, listen, okay, this is where I'm at. This is truly where I'm at. I need a quarterback. I do. Okay, they're going to sign P.J. Walker to the active roster today. If you want to walk P.J. Walker back out there, horrible pun, I didn't even mean to do that. If you want to go back out there for the Seattle, if there's a world that the Browns say the bet that we have made and the world that we live in is until Deshaun Watson is healthy, we just got to keep playing P.J. Walker. If that's what we got to do, so be it. Okay, that's unfortunately where we're at. And you just got to move forward with that. If they wanted to approach it to say, we got to give ourselves a little more of a runway, and we're going to try to go get a Jacoby Brissett, or we're going to go try to get some backup quarterback or try to get that. If there's a world it's Ryan Tannehill, sure, fine. I guess I got to trust Andrew Barrett. I just don't like it. I don't want it. But the ultimate question is, Ryan, have you dug yourself in so far that you have to go move for a quarterback? Have you put yourself in a situation where you have dug yourself in so far that they have to go find a quarterback to move for this season? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know, because if the answer is we just got to ride it out, the cards, we rolled the dice and we came up craps. You rolled the dice and this is the bet that we have made. We have to just roll with this. Can't sacrifice any more of the future. We have limited number of picks that we got to deal with. And sorry, you got to walk it out. You got to go back with PJ Walker. And hey, he's won 2 games. He's done enough to help you win 2 games. And even if you lose Sunday, you're still 4-3. You face a Cardinals team that you should be able to beat. And maybe Watson will be healthy again. Connor Orr, here's the thing. I respect the hell out of Connor Orr. I like reading his articles. Again, 9 deals that he wants to see. And 2 of them are the Browns trading for Derrick Henry and for Ryan Tannehill. Here, he wants to see it again. Again, on the emphasis, these are trades he would like to see. Not ones he expected, but ones he'd like to see. Connor, I don't want to see Ryan Tannehill here.
What's Phillip Rivers doing?
Yeah, having kids is what he's doing. Does he have another one on the way?
Yeah, I think it's 11.
I have 2. And I don't know how, I have 2. Now, granted, I don't have the $1 million. I'm sure they have a nanny.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. So we have not a family friend, but somebody that we know, and they are of well-off means. And they hired a night nanny, Ryan. Do you know what these are?
No.
You hire somebody that they only come to your house from 8 p.m. till 8 a.m.
That's kind of cool.
And they wake up with the baby. You get your full night's rest sleep. Be a nice job to have.
Matt,
we do not have that in the Fontana household.
Do you know, what's the difference? I always hear the terms, and I don't know if they're interchangeable. What's the difference between a nanny and an au pair?
So I believe, both can live it. My version of a nanny is they don't live in the house. An au pair is, And also I've heard, like, I think they live at the house is my belief with that. Like, they're a part of the family. Like, a nanny is, and we have friends that actually have done nanny work before. Nanny is like they show up from 8 to 5 during the day, and they're with the family, and they do it, but then they go home to their own home like this is their job. Where the other, an au pair, is they are literally part of the family, and they live with the family.
Yeah, so, wow, I didn't realize.
Am I right on that?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay.
So, an au pair will travel to your family from overseas on a legal J1 visa.
Oh, okay.
And they bring their unique culture and language with them. An au pair provides up to 45 hours a week of flexible childcare coverage. They become an extended part of your family and parenting team.
Yeah, usually part of that is, they live in the house, and they, they get their meals taken care of and all that kind of stuff. It's rich people problems, right? Not one we have to deal with. All right, let's come back. Let's get to time up. You hear the call in your head on a very famous play this day in history. We'll get to our typical bets for tonight. We'll get back into our bracket. Groups 1 and 2 are going. They're runaways thus far. Groups 3 and 4 coming up for your favorite Halloween character. We'll dive back into the Browns. We'll see if anything more comes out from there. We got it all for you. Time Hop comes your way next. All right, back here on Time Hop, a very important day on several fronts in Time Hop. If you're new to the show, first off, welcome. Appreciate to have you. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We're on the iHeart app as well. It's a big play. Matt Fontana show right here. And we always do this. We go back this day in history, 25th of October, the date. Let's see what we got, including this day, 2020. Browns needing a comeback touchdown from Donovan Peoples-Jones with 11 seconds to play. Beat the Bengals 37-34, but we remember this game for what, Ryan? Odell Beckham tore his ACL in this game, this day 2020. Again, needed that touchdown from Donovan Peoples-Jones with 11 seconds to play. Baker Mayfield threw 5 touchdowns in the game to propel the Browns to a victory. Joe Burrow had 3 of his own. Harrison Bryant had 2. DPJ had 1. Kareem Hunt and David Njoku all catching touchdowns that day for the Cleveland Browns. Kareem Hunt was your leading rusher. Of course, Nick Chubb not playing in that game. He was out with injury. So the Browns get a win, 37-34, this day 2020. This day 2017. Hugh Jackson announced Deshaun Kaiser would be the starter for Week 8, returning as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
What's he doing?
Probably, I don't know. I don't even know. Because it's funny, like, all the people I follow on Twitter, they do workouts in the NFL, right? Like tryouts and stuff. Dude, I saw Matt Barkley. That Matt Barkley from USC still getting workouts. And then I was shocked to find out he was still in the NFL last year. Deshaun Kaiser last was on an NFL team. This is weird. He was released from the Titans on August 5th, 2021, after they signed Matt Barkley to be the backup. He was re-signed to the practice squad, but then released a few days after that. So he's not played in an NFL game since 2018 because we sent him to Green Bay. It sucks for Deshaun Kaiser. I don't know what he's doing. Probably not a lot. This day, 2016 World Series Game 1. Indians get the win 6-0 over the Cubs. Roberto Perez, 2 home runs in that game to start it off well. We all know how it ended, but that's all right. This day, 2015, Browns taking on the Rams at the time of St. Louis fame. We fall 24-6. Todd Gurley had 2 touchdowns in the game. If this was a Josh McCown, Nick Foles duel, neither one of them threw a touchdown in the game. The Browns' leading rusher was Robert Turbin, the Turbinator. Got it done. Gary Barnidge had 100 receiving yards. Duke Johnson 73 in what just had to have been a crap game. Browns fall to 2-5. This day 2015. This day 2012. David Stern announced his retirement as the NBA commissioner, with his final day being 2 years later, which I always think is stupid. Like, I'm going to retire, but I'm going to finish out the year. I know David Stern is passed. He's no longer with us. I always thought he sucked as the commissioner. Do you ever see that video of him with Jim Rome? Test because Rome started going after him about how that Chris Paul trade went down because the NBA had taken over the Hornets and, got testy. I was never a big David Stern fan, but I don't know what to tell you. This day, 1999, a pretty sad one. Payne Stewart passed away, of course, unfortunately in a plane, depressurized and passing away. The legend that is Payne Stewart. This day, 1995, the Braves get a 5-2 win over the Indians in Game 4 of the World Series. I apologize. I did not have the box score pulled up. Give me 2 seconds to remedy that situation for you. So what did I say? Game 4. Steve Avery got the win. Ken Hill take the loss. Albert Bell and Manny Ramirez both got both had home runs there in Game 4. Nobody scored till the 6th inning. The big hurt was the Braves got 3 runs in the top of the 7th. A controversial play happened when Eddie Murray hit a pitch over third base and left field umpire Jim McKeon called it foul, while the third base umpire looked at McKeon to make the call. Murray eventually walked and reached second on a balk, but then struck out to end the inning. So that would have, I think, assuming score a run, potentially, I don't know. David Justice had 2 RBIs on a single in that 7th inning to propel them to a win. And as the series went, Atlanta won Game 4, Cleveland won Game 3, Atlanta won Game 2, and Game 1. So that made it a 3-1 lead there for the Braves this day, 1995. I mentioned a call, and I'm never going to be able to do it in the proper way of the legendary voice that is Vin Scully, but I will attempt it. Of this day, 1986. So the winning run is at second base with 2 outs, 3-2 to Milky Wilson. A little roller up the first line. Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. Yes, the Bill Buckner play this day, 1986, in World Series Game 6. The Mets beat Boston 6-5. The crazy thing about, so they asked Buckner about it later in life. Because, of course, people glommed on that was part of the thing with Fenway, or, thing with Boston and all that kind of stuff. Bill Buckner was a really good defensive first baseman. Years later, he admitted he used a floppy glove. And he felt like when he moved to his left, the glove flopped over, and that's how the ball got underneath Buckner. Mets would get the win in Game 6, and, of course, they would go on to win the World Series in Game 7 at Shea Stadium. So the Buckner play. How'd I do with my Vin Scully? Close?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Bill Buckner play. This day, 1986. This day, 1955, the first ever microwave was sold. Where do you be at today? No reheated pizza?
Wow.
My wife thinks I'm a savage. I used to put pizza rolls in the microwave. I admit that the oven is probably preferred, but the microwave is just so much quicker.
Yeah, sometimes you're just too hungry.
There you go. So you just throw the pizza rolls in. But the microwave, first commercially sold this day, 1955. Very happy birthday goes to Chair Throwing Bobby Knight, Pedro Martinez, former Ohio State guard Andrew Norwell, Xander Schauffele, Pablo Picasso, Katy Perry, wrestling legend Dan Gable, actor Craig Robinson, and Chad, not Will Ferrell Smith, drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, all celebrating birthdays today. 2 movies for you today, Ryan. I think you have an outside shot of going 2 for 2 today.
I always do, Matt.
I could make the first one an easy layup because I don't really know.
I don't like layups.
Okay.
I'm a shooter.
Okay. Well, I don't really know how to describe it. All right, I'll do it this way. One of my favorite scenes of this movie is called Rent-A-Car Crash-Up Derby.
What you
2002.
What is it?
Rent-A-Car Crash-Up Derby is one of my favorite scenes of this movie.
Rent-A-Car Crash-Up Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need more.
Okay. A bunch of friends act like a bunch of blanks. When your friend is acting a certain way, not a jerk, they're sometimes acting like a...
Oh, and that's the name of the movie?
Maybe.
Oh. Acting like a...
I didn't think it'd be this hard.
Things I have in my head, like, no way, that's a movie title.
This was a very popular TV show before it came a movie. And a lot of parents were very upset about it because their kids were out in the backyard trying to do things that they weren't supposed to do.
Oh. Jackass?
I'm Johnny Knoxville,
Okay,
and
yeah.
welcome to Jackass.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Jackass the movie
Great
came
movie,
out
great
this
movie.
day, 2002. I have the entire series on DVD in my basement. I loved Jackass growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, what kid of the 90s and MTV fame didn't? I actually just recently finally watched the last one, and it was horrible.
Oh, sure.
Because they're all old. They're all in their 50s, like, or 40s and 50s. They're over it. You know, Ryan Dunn's passed away. Bam's got all his problems. But the first one is so good.
Who's your favorite?
I mean, Johnny was, the leader of all. I mean, I liked them all, like Bam. I loved Viva La Bam.
Yeah.
Viva La Bam is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So, like, Bam was fine. Dunn was fine. Pontius was always hilarious to me.
For some reason, I loved seeing Dave English just get...
Well, he was like, I get, like, because what my favorite thing to do is go watch it with the commentary. I'll bring the DVDs in. Like I said, I have all the TV show, and I have the first 3 movies on DVD. The last one sucked. And you can turn on the commentary, which is like, I tell you this, if you've never watched Jackass the movie, just watching the commentary, do that. And it is hilarious because all these guys, they talk about, like, we had this idea, and this is how we came up with it. And apparently, Dave England and Aaron McGehee, who are the two that people probably don't like, the most, those were always the final guys, where they would go to everybody else with these stunts, and when they said no, it usually fell on the shoulders of Dave England or Aaron McGehee to do them. And they would do them. So, yeah, I feel like Dave always had, like, the crazy ones to do. But, yes, Jackass the movie.
Preston and Wee Man were, like, Batman.
Oh, and they would always run around and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, on Jackass the movie, one of my favorite ones is one of the first one. Johnny goes and rents a car at a car rental place and then takes it to a demo derby, wrecks the car, and then brings it back. And it is, I die. I die when he walks back in the rental office and they go, "What happened to the car?" And then he goes, "I hit a dog." And like, this car is destroyed, right? And he's just arguing with them. And he goes, "Well, I brought it back with a full tank of gas." Like, it's destroyed. That's the least of our problems. And he just keeps going, "Well, I brought it back with a full tank of gas." And they go, "You're going to pay for this, right?" And he goes, "No, your insurance." And he goes, "You declined coverage." And he goes, "That's just paperwork." And then he goes, "Well, I had a few drinks when I signed that." And he goes, "I had a few drinks while I was driving too." And the shock, and that, I just love it. That's one of my favorite skits that they ever did. And of course, what they do, they had to walk back in and they just paid for the car. Some piece of crap,
Yeah.
Escort or something like that. Ford Escort. They just paid for it. But, I loved it. The golf course scene with the air horn was great. Dude, Party Boy. Oh, man. So we have another movie.
Okay.
And I was going to tell myself, I was like, I need to go watch this movie because it's his birthday and I love this movie. But now I want to go and watch Jackass the movie. All right, so you're 1 for 1. I'll give you that. 2002 Jackass. All right, next one. This day, 1978. And a famous line of, "Is that the boogeyman?"
Oh, another boogeyman reference. Is that the
And the
boogeyman?
response is, as a matter of fact, it was.
Can I get a genre?
It's in our bracket.
Oh.
It's in the bracket.
I don't know.
Is that the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, it was. It's about to win. It's about to win Group 1.
Oh, Group 1 was Michael Myers, right? So Halloween?
Halloween is correct.
Oh, okay.
The original, The Goats, one of the best ever, one of my favorite movies of all time. Halloween came out this day, 1978. Well done on Time Hop. Let's get to our bracket right now. Favorite Halloween character. Michael Myers ran away with it. 80% of the vote. Ghostface, Pinhead, and Casper going home. Group 2, a little closer. Jason Voorhees, 60% of the vote. Pennywise, Carrie White, and the Sanderson sisters are done. So now we get to Group 3. Jack Torrance of The Shining, Beetlejuice, Leatherface, and Pumpkinhead. I might feel a little Beetlejuice upset there in Group 3.
Nope. I will not be coming into work tomorrow if Beetlejuice loses.
Oh, really? You're that staunch on your take there?
Yes.
Fair enough. Go vote Beetlejuice because we need Ryan here to run the show. Group 4, Freddy Krueger. I'm going to go Jack Skellington. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know what to tell you. Jigsaw, Saw's Jump the Shark. And then Chucky, which was a good throw in there from you.
Yeah.
Again, too many Chuckies. Too many movies, too many TV shows, but it is what it is. So vote at Matt Fontana Show on Twitter for your favorite Halloween character moving forward there on the bracket.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
If I tell you this, promise you won't walk out the door and stop the show early?
Sure.
I've never seen Nightmare Before Christmas. You almost had an aneurysm after I told you I didn't see John Wick, and I knew this one would be worse.
What's the other one? The Thing. You still haven't seen The Thing
The
either.
Thing, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I thought you were about to tell me the Browns traded for Ryan Tannehill. So on that note of my anger level of the Browns trading for Ryan Tannehill versus you not seeing Nightmare Before Christmas, that's fine. Okay, that I will accept.
Ryan Tannehill is the Nightmare Before Christmas.
It potentially is. Nightmare Before Christmas is streaming Ryan on Disney Plus. Do you have Disney Plus?
I do.
Remedy that
I do.
situation, please.
You need to make a list. I feel like there's 9,000 movies that I have not seen.
Well, I had to do that. Like my other show with Danny. I used to show with Danny Cunningham, and Danny's not a real big movie watcher. And the same thing. We would have a list of just movies that he had never seen. And I get it. Some people aren't into movies as much, and it is a generational thing. Like, I actually think for a younger guy, you're pretty good on some older movies. I'll tell you this. Nightmare Before Christmas is only an hour and 16 minutes. Do you like Halloween?
Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan.
Okay, then it's worth an hour and 16 minutes of your time. Tonight's a busy night, though. We have the Cavs back in action. We'll get to our bets with Tipico just here in a second. It's worth your watch. It's only an hour and 16 minutes. Before we get to our Cavs bets and kind of kicking the season off with the Cavs, Browns, I think today will be a big day just from Stefanski, and he's going to get asked all the questions. I don't know what he'll say, but then if Deshaun Watson practices. So we know that he's had this stretch of not practicing on Wednesdays, so we'll see if that trend continues. I kind of expect it to, and we'll see if any more news comes out. Like, I don't know. You know. We'll see. I want to update our Twitter question because now it's getting picked up everywhere. Connor Orr's 9 trades to make. Would you trade for Jacoby Brissett or Derrick Henry? 50-50 about. 51-49 people say trade for Jacoby Brissett and Derrick Henry. Ooh. Adam tweets none of the above. So it's about 50-50.
How about this tweet from our boy Jack Duffin?
What do you got?
Said, here's a nuts trade scenario that he drew up.
Okay.
Browns get Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Ryan Tannehill.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Ryan Tannehill, a 2023 7th and a 2024 7th. The Titans get Pierre Strong, Donovan Peoples-Jones, a 2023 4th and a 2024 4th.
I mean, that's a block, but I mean, I'm going to tell you my initial reaction. That is a appease the social media fan base trade. That's what that. Oh my God, look at these names that you got. Actual substance. You know, moving on from DPJ, if they're not going to sign him to a contract extension after the season, sure, get him out of here, use him for something, whatever. The 2 4s, fine. If you want to make that trade, go ahead and do it. If you want to make that, sure, fine.
What if the Browns had 2 D-Hops? D-Hop squared.
My first thing was like, what? The infatuation with DeAndre Hopkins. You know how many touchdowns he has this year? None. Okay. You want to say he's playing with a bad quarterback? Why are you going to bring the quarterback with him? Oh, you know, DeAndre Hopkins is still good. He's just not getting any targets in Tennessee. Why would you bring the quarterback with him then? Is all of a sudden he get here and just things magically change? I said it with the DeAndre Hopkins thing from the jump. I never understood it. I didn't get it. Sure. Okay, go ahead. If you want to pull that trade off to appease people, get you off the back, that's fine. I'd rather just straight up give up a 3 for Jacoby Brissett. I don't think here's the other thing. I don't know what Derrick Henry has left in the tank either. If you say coming here and playing behind this offensive line would be better, sure. How about this trade? Give them Donovan Peoples-Jones and Pierre Strong and just a 4 for just Derrick Henry. Why you got to throw all that other crap in there? I guess if you really need a quarterback, I don't know. I like it from Jack. Get the people all fired up. Get them all going. A lot of trade scenarios thrown around with the Browns. 2 from Connor Orr you'd like to see, and now 1 from Jack Duffin. We shall see. The Tannehill one would give me a heart attack, though. There's nothing about Ryan Tannehill that I like or want. Is he better than PJ Walker? Well, yeah, sure, I guess. I'd honestly, I'd be better off going to get like a Marcus Mariota. And they're not going to, because the other thing is, some of these backups, like, does Atlanta feel real confident in Desmond Ridder to ship them off? No. Does Washington feel real confident with Sam Howell if they can just get rid of Jacoby Brissett? I doubt it. So you're going to have to make a move that it entices them to do it. And I just don't know if I see that. I'll put it this way. The Browns need a quarterback. I don't doubt that. I don't deny that they need a quarterback. Where or who and how they approach that is up to Andrew Berry. I don't know, and that's his job. That's fine. And I'd like to see a little bit of improvement there. Yeah, without a doubt. But how he gets there is the other part of the story. If you could just be bestowed a quarterback, if you could just have a guy show up on the doorstep that's a Jacoby Brissett level and whoever that might be, yes, I would like that. And it's not because of a controversy with Deshaun Watson. And it also affords you the opportunity to rest Deshaun Watson. You want to know why I paused there, Ryan? Because do you know what just like drilled into my head? What if they traded for a quarterback? No. Cavs, we'll get to our bets here in a second. I'm just going to say it. What if they trade for a quarterback to use that as leverage over Watson again? Because this is a giant, freaking, stinking cesspool pot of crap. And it just gets stirred up because they go trade for a quarterback and they go fine, sit down then. To Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's true. That is just my weird conspiracy-laden head. That if there truly is drama out there and there's stuff getting stirred up with Watson and the Browns, that maybe they do go trade for a quarterback and then they just sit back to Deshaun Watson and go fine, sit your ass down. And he's laughing all the way to the bank with $230 million. I just had to say it. That's wrong. I don't believe that. I don't want that to be. Tipico! Big Play 150. Use that code, folks, and get signed up for your free bonus bets for all of basketball season glory. Cavs in action tonight, taking on the New Jersey Nets. I should have looked this up, Ryan. What are the New Jersey Nets over-under win total for this season? They are only at 37.5. The Cavs are a road 1.5 point favorite. I am slamming the Cavs minus 1.5. Over-under is 219.5. But I really like our big play, big boost. Max Strus, 10-plus points. Donovan Mitchell, 30-plus points. And the Cavs to win. That is plus 470. Get on Tipico. Use the code BIGPLAY150 when you get signed up. Place your bets there. Quick little same game parlay here. Or same game parlay. How about this? Because I like the alternate. I'm going to take the Cavs minus 4.5. Donovan Mitchell's over under 28.5. Donovan over. Evan Mobley 15.5. Over. All right, we got an announcement. Speaking of that, we are going to do a show giveaway on our Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. We are going to send a tweet out as soon as we end. You hit retweet, you got a chance to win a Big Play t-shirt. So you got to follow us at Matt Fontana Show, hit the retweet, and then do what, Ryan? Tell us Donovan Mitchell's point total.
Let him know.
All right, let him know. It'll all be in the tweet. I'll retweet it from at Matt Fontana 83, at Matt Fontana Show for a giveaway tonight for the Cavs in honor of their opening night, courtesy of us here at Big Play. We got you locked and loaded. Don't go anywhere. Chico coming up at noon, 12 to 2 with him. Big Play, iHeart app, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It is Wednesday night, so we do have bonus time with Bruce Drennan, which will be tonight. And I think Booby's doing a show tomorrow, probably, right, to recap the opening night there for the Cavs. So great stuff. Appreciate everybody joining us this morning and the support. We always feel it. We always love it. We always appreciate it. Thanks so much. Follow at Matt Fontana Show for that giveaway, and we'll get to you tomorrow right here on the show from 9 to 11. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. Go get him tonight, Cavs, and as always, take it easy.